Hey, what's going on, guys? Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Happy Friday. Hope all is well. Wanted to talk about the price continuation that we're seeing per yesterday's video with XRP here in VeChain. And also before that, for anybody that is, unsure about their investment, this is early days. And again, I just wanted to read this quote from Tony XRP. He has or currently works for a technology provider that is a Ripple partner, early Ripple partner, and I mention them often. So keep in mind, smart guy. Just wanted to share this for anybody that doesn't really understand what they're holding. Just good old market volatility, nothing to do with the soundness of your investment. If you understand and believe in the future, just go back to what you were doing. If you guys have enough to hold, set it, forget it. You don't even have to watch these YouTube videos for reassurance. You can gather information as you'd like, but again, we know where this asset class ends up. Okay, that is what I want to preface. And also, if you guys do not have a Twitter, I just want to get this over with. I did do a public service announcement on Twitter, really long thread, honestly just me venting per like 2 videos ago. Saw a bunch of rude comments, and I guess they just didn't understand what I was emphasizing with XRP. So I guess I'll repeat it right now, because I'm assuming there's just a bunch of newcomers coming to the channel that were confused. First off, I have 500 plus videos on XRP. I love XRP. I'm incredibly bullish on it in the future. That does not mean that these pricings can't happen. If you guys have been here for 3 years, 5 years, you understand that these swings occur in a market. Now, the plan is in the future, whether it's, in a few months or in a few years, utility is raising the ground floor, and eventually the new low would be this 25-cent point. And then again, later on, it would only be the new low for XRP would become 75 cents. And then gradually or quickly, whatever you believe, that is where, this ground floor rises. So right now I'm taking advantage of this. So I have my long-term bag. So let me emphasize this because I saw some really confusing comments. I have my bag of XRP. It is my hold bag. I do not touch it ever. Under any circumstance, I, again, want the benefits of the tax advantage. No short-term trading. I'm not selling it for US dollar. I'm not converting it. I have it in my cold storage. I do not touch it under any circumstance. I will hold it. I mean, I've already held it for quite some time, but I will hold it until the right exit plan. But I'm going to be holding a portion for life, period. There's nothing wrong with taking profits. I don't care. I'm not going to go over exit plans. That is literally different for each and every person. What works for me is not going to work for you, so you guys have to find your own strategy, find who you like, and again, adapt it into your own style. Okay, I'm not going to be preaching that. This is not financial advice, but please understand, I believe in XRP. And then they go, if you believe in XRP, why are you trying to buy it lower? Because I have a bag of other altcoins and I am a trader as well. So I'm an investor that's passive, and yes, I respect it. I think it's going to be smart, and typically 90% of holders do well or do better than a trader, an intraday trader, or a swing trader. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. There was so much confusion, and so many people were leaving rude comments saying, I don't believe in XRP. No, I literally saw last minute, and there was a 50-50 chance, and I wasn't sure if XRP was going to form this new cup and dump or not. And again, I was talking to Chris. He warned me, and I said, you know what? I want to be on the sidelines with this bag. My XRP is still there, guys. My XRP will go down and up with the market. I'm not touching it. But I realized there's a 50-50 chance. And we were talking, and I said, you know what? If it goes back up, I'll buy in at a loss with this type of bag. It is worth it to try to get this win because this is only coming, once in a lifetime. So I have my money on the sidelines, and I'm waiting for a re-entry in some altcoins, okay? XRP can be included, but right now I'm looking at some micro caps, okay? And if those micro caps go up faster or higher or sooner and survive regulations, I will also be taking part of that profit and getting more XRP, all right? Whew, I got some rude comments, like you guys were acting like, you're paying me for watching these videos, or someone's acting like they're paying me for trade signals. I literally make these videos when I have time. I have a busy life outside of this, and I enjoy this. So for the 6 people that actually like this content, thank you. All right. So let's talk about that. So again, Tony XRP talking about that, this public service announcement. If you guys want to read it or listen to my little rant there, I'm in a good mood, and I was last night. Just wanted to put that out there. It will be in the top of this video description. And then also, let's actually talk about the charts. So right here, this video is yesterday. What is happening? The RTGS Global, not a threat to XRP. And as we can see, I'm talking too fast. I'm almost going to cough. XRP right here. We're talking about it at its S1, and typically with these fib pivots, I mean, what I'm seeing, and it's not like for like, we have VeChain that was just below its S1, so we were kind of speculating that, again, per a lot of people and analysts, that we do have to come down to this MA, this, again, 100 MA, around 23 cents. All right, so that's where we were last night, or, yesterday, and let's kind of just check out where we are today. So again, we came below the S1, okay, just like VeChain. So now VeChain, guess what it did? So yesterday, and I took a screenshot just so you guys can see. So let's do this. We have VeChain right here, it was at, 1.4. Now we are down to 1.3. Okay. So it is dropping just a little bit because Bitcoin, obviously, with the CME futures gap, if it does close it, some analysts are even saying that we could go lower than the futures gap for, the time being. And this is literally, and I roll my eyes when I say this, but it really does seem like this is one of the, last final shakeouts. If you guys saw those recent video clips that Brian Brooks said of the OCC, he literally said what we've been saying on this channel for 3 years. All of these cryptocurrencies that are legitimate, I don't care if it's Ethereum, Bitcoin, any altcoin, guys, any microcap, whatever. If it is legitimate, it will interoperate with private networks. That is the most bullish news that has been released this year. Notice, price is going down, good positive regulatory clarity is coming out. This market is cognitive dissonance. If you guys wanted to be a successful trader in the 70s, yes, follow the fundamentals, read the newspapers, get ahead of everybody. But this climate is very different. We have information at our fingertips. If you really want to think differently, or if you want to be a contrarian investor, you have to think differently than the masses. And I promise I think differently than the majority of people. And once I'm on the majority, I try to remind myself to see it through a different lens. All right. So even here, we have XRP when it was at 25.8, and again, it wicked to that S1, so we were speculating that it would follow VeChain's suit and go under the S1, and as it has, now, we're kind of playing around that. I mean, we wicked down to like just barely 23, really 24, so we'll see if we play around this range. I mean, honestly, I think Labor Day weekend, even around, 9/7, 9/11, those are going to be some crazy days, so we'll see if this market bottoms out. Personally, I'm going to be looking for a re-entry next week. If it happens sooner, I'm ready to go. Maybe I'll stagger my buys as I buy back in and just understand the power of growing back. And this is just for me. You guys do whatever you want. If you just want to hold through the storm or even buy a little when it's low, awesome. Do what is best for you. But bottom line is, if you are holding XRP, you are going to be okay long term, okay? So please, I'm not trying to make this video to scare you. I just want to show you it's okay if an asset fluctuates. This is getting attention of the market, whether it dumps or pumps short term. We know where this asset class is headed. If you actually think I do not believe in XRP, you have no fundamental understanding of this technology and what my 500 videos have been about. I'm more bullish than you, period. Okay, so enough of that rant. Just wanted to speculate there, and I'm going to be looking at a lot of these other legacy coins, a lot of these tier 1 tokens that we've been seeing for years. I mean, XLM took a hit. So remember, we always play that little dance with XRP and silver. Silver's at $26, XRP's at 24 cents. We'll see if silver takes a little hit. I mean, again, I'm incredibly bullish on silver. I own physical silver. I think silver is going to be is essentially one of the most undervalued physical assets in the world, specifically with gold as well. Okay, so we're going to be watching these legacy tokens. Some of them can offer some very nice buys. Remember, VeChain was, essentially on the way to 3 cents. We had Zilliqa, what was it? Was almost 3 cents. A lot of these assets, guys, are very big discounts, and this is where the real money is made. A lot of people and a lot of newbies that have no understanding of trading or investing, they think, you just buy, and in a perfect world, you're a millionaire the next day. In reality, it takes a lot of patience. And those that have, true stones and just stay hard and focused and understand what is at play here, they understand these price fluctuations mean nothing. They are digits on a screen and merely an opportunity. Okay, so I'm just simply waiting to strike. Some of these are holding ground pretty well, and then some are finally succumbing to the pressure. So remember, even in 2 videos ago, guys, I literally did a video 2 days ago when Algo, for example, we talked about Algo, and remember what I said? I literally said, when we were probably at like 47 cents, I said, okay, so by the way, I had like a friend, because I wasn't sure. He got out a little late, unfortunately, because I wasn't sure about confirmation. But again, he got out at like 47 cents. And remember that example I said, if you sold at 52 where it was and then bought back in at 34, we're right there. So we're at S1 for Algo. Algorand, I'm extremely bullish on this project, this protocol long-term, MIT based. MIT runs an XRP validator as well. They're all connected with Circle, the USDC project, Digital Dollar project, all these projects working on digitizing the US dollar system. That is good. We want innovation, we want competition, keep everybody honest and focused. It's just the future that I'm seeing, and I just don't get it. I'm going to play that clip for you guys because it's just that good, with Brian Brooks of the OCC. Let me find it. I did retweet it. Okay, right here. Don't know how to pronounce your name, man, but I appreciate you sharing this clip. So again, if this does not paint a picture of connecting public and private blockchains in the future, I do not know what to tell you. This is 3 video clips. You guys don't have to watch this, but this is probably the most bullish video series I've seen, okay? And now some of you are going to go, some of you are going to say, blah, 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 these are just words. Guys, this is much more than just words. They are using these times of, such economic uncertainty to attack and get regulations on the way. We already heard exchanges getting seized recently. Tether is, getting a little wild as always. Be safe, be smart, know what you hold. In times like these, yes, certain micro caps can skyrocket, as you've seen some coins that went up 400% and then went to zero within a day later. For me, because I've worked very hard for my money, I'm not willing to risk it with those assets in times of such uncertainty in an already dangerous asset class. So I'm moving most of my money to more legitimate assets currently, okay? That is just me. I, just want what's best for you guys. You do what is best, all right? So listen up to Brian Brooks.
I have a limited time here. I wanted to switch to sort of what the OCC has been doing in the charter space. You recently mentioned the OCC was thinking about issuing a national bank charter for payments companies. Already, BPI has a real-time payments project. The Federal Reserve has promised the FedNow real-time system by 2024. You have companies like Stripe.
So the United States is basically promising in another 4 years we're going to be ready to go to compete with all these other countries and their real-time gross settlement systems. Come on.
Square and PayPal that are seemingly capable.
And by the way, a lot of those companies and countries, such as Bank of England with their real-time gross settlement, they're using one of Ripple's first investors and partners, Accenture. And Accenture is also working on the digital dollar project. If you guys cannot smell that public and private sectors in the US are going to team up to expedite this and kind of hop forward faster, I don't know what to tell you.
Providing similar services. So how does the OCC's charter fit into that space?
And just so you guys know, Brian Brooks was a chief legal officer at Coinbase, repeating this for newcomers, making well over $1 million. And he's come to take this role for the OCC and the government to, again, make some moves like a true shaker in this community.
Well, let's unpack a couple of things you've said, Rachel. So the Fed is working on a project that'll be ready in 2024. Let's just pause on that for a moment. 2024. Today is 2020. The United Kingdom already has a real-time payment system.
And you guys think we can wait that much longer and the Fed is going to print into oblivion for 4 more years? I don't think so. He's laughing. He's talking about all of this. And also he mentions Christopher Giancarlo, former CFTC chairman, also working on the digital dollar project, represents or is part of a law firm that represents Ripple, and he's an advisor for Ripple. They also use the same talking points that Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson have used for years. They're all in bed together. If you guys can't smell the flowers, you're going to have to wake up soon or you're going to be rudely awakened.
In 2020. In America, the leader of the financial services world will have it in 2024. I think that's unacceptable from a competitive standpoint.
Me too.
Right? This country is a leader in 2 industries in the world at the moment, financial services and technology. The idea that we're going to allow Singapore, China, the UK, and the EU to leapfrog us in terms of faster payments, much the way that other countries got 5G telecommunications long before we're ever going to have that, should give us pause. It should really give us pause. And so the question I have is, when real-time payments technology is available today in the form of private blockchain.
And even the real-time payment platform that they have in the United States, domestically speaking, the clearinghouse, guys, go through those partners, look at the technology providers. Several of them are already connected to Ripple and they are big payment hubs, all right? It's clear as day. I'm not going to say XRP has a domestic use case today. What I'm saying is that we are connected, and RippleNet specifically is innovative. It's going to change the game, okay? And pay attention to obviously ODL in particular, but the future for me in terms of DLT, whether it's permissioned or permissionless, it's all going to interoperate. So if you have a system, if you are invested into protocols that actually have sound fundamentals, sound technology, a sound team, sound funding, and work with the regulators from the start, such as XRP or potentially even Algorand, which is also connected to the USDC token Circle, These regulators, it already has an actual central bank digital currency being built on top of it. I don't know how much more clear it can get. Can there be some other microcaps in DeFi that completely blow some of these investments out of the water? Potentially, I can't rule that out. But for me, I just do not want to lose my initial investment, okay? So for that, XRP algo, potentially even, HBAR, QNT, are some of those obvious holds for me. And again, you don't want to be holding 50 assets, but you don't want to be holding one either.
Chains that already exist and are transacting $350 or $400 billion of market cap every day. I guess I ask myself, why do we want to wait for those things? So, you mentioned some of these bank-owned payment networks, which are far from real time, which have chargeback risk, which have error rates and things like that. And I just question whether those are good enough for the modern economy. I mean, there's a reason when Chairman Chris John Carter.
And don't even get me started on, obviously, the technology differences and the improvements that would be made.
That you just mentioned. The timeline for that, you said a couple months. Are you looking at within this year or next year going forward?
I think you'll see a cadence of commentary from us starting probably sooner rather than later. I mean, I don't.
Okay, so I think that statement holds some weight. You guys might think I have a tinfoil hat, but again, a cadence of commentary, regarding in the near future. So we will see if regulations come this year. We have crazy times ahead regarding the election. We have swell. Remember, even Swift's annual event, Sibos, is essentially canceled last time I checked, unless it is still on virtually speaking. You can just smell in the air what is going on. Let's watch in the future for BRICS, more of that discussion to kind of come up as fear and propaganda, the narrative to expedite the US to really kick things in the gear. Whatever you guys believe, I respect it, but I think we can agree there are very uncertain times in 2020, and we are going to see a revamp of financial services in general.
I'm not prepared to make news on that quite yet today, but just rest assured we're working on a couple of additional crypto issues now beyond just the custody issue.
Okay, so this guy literally came into office in April, and he literally has every national bank in the United States capable to custody, hold digital assets, cryptocurrencies. Who would have seen that coming? So let's not rule out anything. I don't want that to be hypey, but I am absolutely excited, okay?
Because we see banks already participating.
And also remember, dot-com bubble, guys, what happened in the early 90s for a period of like 2 years? They dumped and controlled the market, manipulated the market, whatever bodies, controlled it for 2 years. And then they found out after that bull run came and like several trillion came into the market, at least 2 trillion, they realized that during that period of that cup when prices were low and people thought all of this was a scam and people thought the internet companies were just a bubble. It's so silly, the sheep thinking that, and they realized there was higher levels of institutional buying than ever before. This is happening again. Now, history does not always repeat, but it often rhymes. And if you guys cannot see the similarities, the parallels, I do not know what to tell you. And I know a lot of you that watch this channel every day, or if you try to catch a video from time to time, I'm sure you guys see it, and I'm sure you get it, but the majority of people, they're asleep. They don't care. They're chilling on TikTok and swiping through their phone, and common sense isn't so common. And yes, I'm not perfect. I lack a lot of common sense sometimes, but I hope I'm seeing this correctly. So let me know if you guys think I'm just another lunatic, or, we might be onto something together.
Right. So, for example, we know that banks such as JP Morgan have already created private permission blockchains for stablecoin projects used by their own customers. The question is, what should the parameters of that be, and what would happen if those banks were to open up those networks to other third parties?
Boom. And that's exactly what's going to happen. There's still going to be private blockchains that are permissioned. So obviously the corporations, these banks have privacy. Maybe they can, send transactions a little faster between themselves, but they're still having to open up these payment silos. Why? Because the whole existing architecture of the payments ecosystem, globally speaking, is fragmented. What does Ripple do? Breaks down the borders. It is, again, all about an open framework, agnostic level playing field. The best assets, the best protocols, the best networks will win. Okay, this is literally, that's where that level the playing field comes from. DLT is going to be focused on financial inclusion. If it is not inclusive, I think DLT as a technology has failed.
We know that there are multiple banks that are holding billions of dollars of deposits that are backing stablecoin projects. Stablecoins being basically a blockchain version of a prepaid card where you can use it to pay for things and people can.
And just remember, guys, even folks like State Street, they custody 1/3 of the world's electronic wealth. This is trillions of dollars. They said roughly $30 trillion. I have that video on my other channel, Kevin Cage Uncaged, and the gentleman literally says in the digital asset space, it is going to start incredibly slow and then trickle, trickle, trickle flood. When those gates open, there's no turning back. So just remember, there's been people that have been, showing us this for years.
Redeem the stablecoin for money held in the bank. But we haven't opined.
And we're all crazy until it isn't. That's just pure. I mean, that's exactly what's going to happen. You guys can have your limitations and say this is impossible, but what's impossible for you is possible to me. So again, don't push your limitations on somebody else, because some people are seeing exactly what is going on here. Some are, going into projects and diversifying or dollar cost averaging, and obviously seeing a potential future of where this is going. This is the asset class that will swallow all others. Why? Because it's going to be much more than just value transaction. It is going to be identity. It's going to be KYC. It's going to be information. Any type of message that transacts over this network in a distributed system will need, again, people that actually hold this, whether it's a proof of stake network like Algorand or anything. Like, the use case with these utility tokens is going to be unbelievable when things get going. And remember, in my last video, I referenced the compounding interest, guys. If you have a penny and you double it every day, 1 penny, 1 cent, 2 cent, 4 cent, 8 cent, every day for 30 days, that turns out to be over $5 million. Just think about that. The power of growth is coming, guys. Whether you think derivatives, whether you think cross-border payments alone, whether you think streaming and batching payments, web monetization, it's all here. Like, payments, guys, is going to be revolutionized first. Mainly because it's 40 years old and hasn't been updated in 40 plus years, specifically referring to the correspondent banking network, which is already fragmented, inefficient. We can talk about the 6% error rates, high fees. Come on now.
It ought to be about reserve requirements, collateral requirements, audit requirements for those things. So these are things already occurring. We need to speak to those sooner rather than later. I doubt it'll be months. It'll be more like weeks, I think, when we start speaking to those issues.
So, okay, so instead of months, he's saying weeks. So let's just see what happens by end of September with the global market. Remember, Dow Jones just hit a top of 29,000. Guess what, guys? There was a gap there that it closed. Want to know something scary? There's some gaps. If you go on the charts on TradingView, you're going to see some low gaps. And also, even if the equities market does dump, have no fear. I wholeheartedly believe that we will recover, but just like crypto, every market has to breathe. And again, you can call it a pullback. I don't care what you believe. Again, it is unsustainable to go that high during a pandemic. Okay. It doesn't make any sense. You already saw on this channel, I showed some of the biggest CEOs, names in the game, have sold billions of dollars of stock of their shares. Why?
Gotcha.
We saw the same thing happen in 2020, guys. We saw all these people selling in late 2019 and then early 2020. It's just repeating. And I'm over here just talking in echo chamber. And there's tons of great videos or, YouTubers that are covering this content. I just hope that if this is your first time seeing a channel like this, just please do your own research, think for yourselves, and just pay attention and see how you can obviously protect yourself during these times. I don't want this to promote fear, because this is actually a huge opportunity for those of us that are ready. So you should be happy, excited, and obviously just be smart.
A little bit further into this topic, when you're talking about stable coins, Bitcoins, all these sorts of different cryptocurrencies, crypto assets. Just a quick personal story. A month ago.
Let's hear her personal story. Nope.
Things like that, and I just question whether those are good enough for the modern economy. I mean, there's a reason when Chairman Chris Giancarlo left the CFTC that what he chose to devote the rest of his career to was the digital dollar, and it was because of a belief he had that the United States is falling behind competitively in the building of the global financial infrastructure. And I think that, there is a role for the Federal Reserve in payments, obviously. They have more or less controlled the payment system for a long time. There's a role in private payments, as we see for ACH and SWIFT. But at the end of the
Okay, ACH and SWIFT. Well, remember, Ripple's partnered with the Nacha Alliance since 2014, 2015. They are essentially the whole backbone of the ACH system. Again, RippleNet is already integrated with the plumbing of the whole system. Pretty crazy. So whether you believe we're going to get 1% of SWIFT's market share, or a bunch of it, or all the money, period, well, beyond that, we're talking FX market, we're talking everything, retail money, interbank transfers. I'm just saying there's a lot of potential for a lot of these assets in the cryptocurrency space to do well. All right. But keep that in mind. There's a very 0 to 1 approach that they're either going to explode and do well or go to zero. So keep that in mind. Invest accordingly.
Today, if ACH is super slow and if SWIFT and FedWire are super expensive, shouldn't we be looking to what the rest of the world is doing as an indication that we're not going to and things like that?
This guy makes too much sense. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. And again, remember to read that public service announcement if you'd like. It will be linked in the top of this video description. Hopefully you enjoyed my thoughts. I want to hear what you guys think with this video regarding Brian Brooks. I saw a funny tweet. I forgot who said it, but you know, everybody around here, we're all screaming praise to Christine Lagarde or Brad Garlinghouse or all these people. We should be thanking this man right now because I think he is a mover and shaker and making things happen. So I will see you guys in the next video and have a great weekend.